much. Chilly old evening up here at the Riverside tonight, and for Steve McClaren, the Middlesbrough manager, after that traumatic week with England, a case of out of the frying pan and into the fire, facing Arsenal. Not quite what they wanted, I think. 3 debuts for a much-changed Middlesbrough today. New signings, Fabio Rockenbach and Abel Xavier go straight into the side. An 18-year-old local boy, Adam Johnson, is the replacement for the injured Stuart Downing on the left. Massimo Macaroni gets his first Borough start for 16 months wide on the right in a 4-5-1 formation in which Yakubu will be the lone striker.
Well, that's not been the best of starts for Steve's team, Ian, so don't be surprised to see a cautious approach from them today. I guess what hasn't helped is the constant changes, especially to the back four, as over the past few seasons Middlesbrough have had a decent defensive record. That 5 across the midfield certainly seems to be the vogue these days, isn't it? Parler, Boateng and Rockenbach will operate centrally, trying to upset the Arsenal rhythm, and it's a big test and opportunity for both Macaroni and Johnson today. Macaroni not really fulfilled the promise he showed playing for the Italian under-21s, and Adam Johnson, in my opinion, could be a real player for the future. But it's a team short of goals, so it's a big test for Yakubu up top on his own here tonight.
And what a day for Adam Johnson. As for Arsenal, no Thierry Henry or Freddie Ljungberg today. Henry has a groin strain. Ljungberg is rested after 2 hard games for Sweden. So Bergkamp is captain. He teams up with Reyes up front, with Pires and Hleb out wide. There's a change in midfield where Cesc Fabregas is rested and Mathieu Flamini is drafted in. Sol Campbell is still not ready, even for a place on the bench.
As we've heard already, this has certainly been one of Arsenal's favourite grounds over the past 5 seasons, and having seen Charlton come here the other week and win comfortably, I'm sure Arsene Wenger's side will really expect to pick up all 3 points. No surprises about this formation, and it'll be interesting to see how the 4 across the middle cope with the 5 Middlesbrough have, especially when it gets probably a little bit spicy and lively in that area. Hleb looks a good acquisition, and while Arsenal don't have the threat of Thierry Henry, they certainly have the guile and the craft of Bergkamp and the pace of Reyes to get at a side that has lacked a defensive consistency so far this season, Ian.
Key to the thinking for Arsene Wenger in that Arsenal side, by the way, was pick the players who are fresh, who've not done the travelling and had to play international. 6 of them fitting that particular category today. I think Hleb would have been rested as well, according to Arsene Wenger, but Thierry Henry is out, so he does have to play here. And Arsenal, who just love coming to Teesside. They flew up last night, except Dennis Bergkamp, of course, who came with Vic Akers, the kit man. Had to be driven up. Such is the way for Dennis these days. Captain of the side today at 36. And Ashley Cole may be glad to get back into an Arsenal shirt after all the stick flying around about that England performance in Belfast. Gareth Southgate no longer part of that England setup, of course.
Gareth knows that this has been a difficult start for his team. We heard Steve McClaren talking about what their target was going into the first 4 games, but they'll be bitterly disappointed, especially with that result and performance against Charlton. But there's an opportunity to put things right here today. It'll be tough for them, but they do have a chance to put it right, and against an Arsenal side that, while they might not have hit their best form, there's still enough quality in that side to think that they're going to be challenging for honours.
So it's Middlesbrough who got a rocket after their last performance, a 3-0 home defeat by Charlton. Frankly, they were absolutely awful against Arsenal, who must keep the pace up at the top of the table, which of course is relentless. Will this be a Riverside rehabilitation today for Steve McClaren? All the action coming up in just a moment.
You don't always say it here, but a terrific atmosphere ahead of Middlesbrough against Arsenal with Bram Marwood and Ian Darke.
Well, what a day for this young man. Adam Johnson, 18, who was a member of the Cleveland Juniors side, the Peter Lee School side. Today, a league debut because Stuart Downing is injured. He was terrific, apparently, for the England under-19 side the other night against Belgium. Against Arsenal as well, with all his family and friends. There's Fabio Rockenbach, the Brazilian. Steve McLaren's been after him for a while. He's played here before, in fact last season when he was on loan at Sporting Lisbon in the UEFA Cup. They call him the Terminator. We'll see if he is. We know about this guy, Abel Xavier, former Liverpool and Everton player, who comes in at right back today. That's a problem position at the moment for Middlesbrough. We've got a lot of injuries, and of course they've sold Michael Reisiger since their last game. Dennis Bergkamp, number 11 in Arsenal's all-time list of scorers. The number 2, Thierry Henry, not around today with that groin injury, as you've been hearing. Bergkamp needs 1 for 200 league goals in his career. So it's Middlesbrough, who've been erratic, frankly, this season, who get us underway. And an early touch, too, they give to Rockenbach. Just looked a bit lifeless and lethargic when Charlton came here and gave them a bit of a pasting before the international break. But before that, they'd given a very effervescent performance at Birmingham, where they won 3-0. So which Middlesbrough today, I wonder? Will Arsenal suffer a bit after the breaks? And there's already a mistake by Ehiok there, and Reyes was in, and Schwarzer had to make a very sharp save early on, and he got Ehiok out of jail there.
Well, I think that's an indication of the nervousness that Middlesbrough have about themselves at the moment, Ian, because Ehiok is one of the most experienced players, and he really took far too much time. But to be fair to Reyes, he was very quick in closing him down. He got his shot away, but unfortunately couldn't beat the goalkeeper. Just a little warning there that Ehiok, Reyes is determined to do well up top. You know, he's playing wide left, and I think he'd rather play down the middle, but such is the form and the stature of Thierry Henry, he's probably not going to get that many opportunities.
Reyes, who scored an own goal on this ground in the Carling Cup. Arsenal have won on their last 5 visits to this ground, and in those 5 games, Middlesbrough haven't even scored a goal. Here's Pires being deployed on the left. Good ball that to Ashley Cole, but the flag was up.
Well, that must have been tight, wasn't it? It was a good run by Ashley Cole, in and behind Xavier. They'll certainly want to test him. I mean, this is his first game in a Middlesbrough shirt, but well, Ashley Cole, with his experience, if you like, really ought to have known better. You can see right across the line. He just needs to hold his run somewhat. We talked about those changes that Steve has had to make in his back four during the course of this opening start to the season. It never helps.
This is Macaroni. Chance for him to just make his case again with a place in the starting lineup. He was loaned out to Italy last year. Rockenbach's little layoff. No chance here for Adam Johnson to get himself involved.
Well, he just hugged that touchline on that left-hand side.
Macaroni, can he get in behind here? Seagon just about doing enough to make sure that Lehmann could claim that.
Smart thinking from Rockenbach. Saw that Macaroni was looking to get in behind.
This is Rockenbach. Abel Xavier. I actually wanted to make another signing as well, Middlesbrough, in the deadline. They were after Rudolf Douala, another Sporting Lisbon player, who could have played wide, but that deal didn't come off. Southgate looking to chip this up towards Macaroni.
He's not been frightened to come inside, has he, Macaroni? Really desperate to make his mark here on Teesside. Went out to Siena on loan. Not really fulfilled that sort of promise that we saw a year or two from him. I remember watching him for the Italian under-21s against England at Bradford, and he was absolutely outstanding that night. In fact, I think he went and played for the full side the following evening. Such was his performance. So clearly a lot of people felt that he was a real talent in the making.
This is Hleb, just back from 2 losing games for Belarus. We've got little chance, or no chance, of getting to the World Cup finals now. Bergkamp, now Leb is onside here. Chances on, and surely a goal for... Oh, it's off the post! And that was Reyes who nearly opened the account. Lovely move, typical Arsenal football.
Well, we haven't hit 5 minutes yet, Ian, and Arsenal could have been 2-0 ahead.
What a let-off for Middlesbrough. Ray Parlour up against his old club, of course, where he won 9 major honours. And that's offside against Yakubu, who's still waiting to open his Middlesbrough account.
Well, it was marginal, wasn't it, the offside, but wonderful play on this right-hand side. Bergkamp and Kleb just combining, really, to open up this Middlesbrough side, and then it was just a wonderful little cutback. Clever play initially from Reyes, you know, he buys himself a little bit of space, gets it onto his favoured left foot, tries to place it into that bottom corner, and there's 2 opportunities that Reyes has had to make his mark.
Reyes has got on behind here. They're really having trouble keeping tabs on him early on here, the young Spaniard. Now Pires. Parlour gives away the corner.
Well, their passing has been so good, Arsenal, that really Middlesbrough can't contain them.
Here's Reyes again. He looks full of it, doesn't he, early on. That's a foul by Macaroni.
He had a great start to last season, you know, Jose Antonio Reyes, and then he went off the boil and found it very, very difficult to get that early season consistency. But the way he started here today looks very bright, very sharp. 2 centre-backs are really unsure of the sort of runs that he's making. Who's supposed to be picking him up?
Middlesbrough needing to be very resilient here, struggling to contain Arsenal early on there, and Xavier, but the whistle had gone. Wait for the whistle, says referee Mike Riley there. Toure wanting a word with him.
Well, the reason why Toure's had a word with him, because if he had allowed that, Kudru was pushing Toure in the back, and he could quite easily have given a penalty away.
But Mike Riley wasn't ready. So here it is again, action replay. Bergkamp, a bit longer this time towards the back post. Seagon was in there, he scored twice against Fulham in the last game. And Reyes once again, he's electric early on here.
Well, Middlesbrough are all over the place at the moment, Ian. They really are all over the place. And Reyes having 2 great opportunities. And this is really Middlesbrough just trying to slow things down. They never really have the ball under control, but 10 out of 10 for Reyes. Being nice and bright and sharp, putting Egiog under a bit of pressure, and then this is the opportunity he has moments later. You can see how deliberate he is, just trying to slot that ball inside the post, and he very nearly gets it right. And at the moment, Middlesbrough are very, very fortunate that it's not another Charlton situation.
Reyes, by the way, hasn't scored an away goal for a year since he netted one in a controversial game at Fulham. Ball is given away by Lauren. Flamini doing his best to win it back. Yakubu's little layoff to Rockenbach. Now Abel Xavier. Middlesbrough needing to do something to lift their bounce. Now here's a chance for the teenager. Adam Johnson on his Premiership debut. Cuts inside, looking to take on the Arsenal defenders. This is Kedru. Yakubu. Toure was physically strong enough. Yakubu desperate to break his Middlesbrough duck, you sense, after his £7.5 million move from Portsmouth.
Just a little bit of pace injected this Middlesbrough final third. Just got the fans, and they're supporting them once more because they're very nervous at the moment.
Kedru towards the back post, easily held by Jens Lehmann. Is he overtaking Oliver Kahn? I wonder, as Germany's #1. He played in both their recent friendlies. Franz Beckenbauer was saying, why wasn't Kahn picked? So that little row goes on and on and on in Germany.
Well, he's been under a bit of pressure, hasn't he, Lehmann, with his Arsenal position. Never mind what's happening for the German national side. I'm very impressed with his early season performances. Can he maintain that consistency?
Leb to Reyes. To pick up Pires' run, and Pires has got there too. The odds were against him, and Borough with Southgate just doing enough. Escape again, and meanwhile Reyes is down with what looks like some kind of wrist injury.
Well, again, it's that indecision between Southgate and Xavier. No one really knows or takes charge of the situation, and Pires To be fair to him, he just takes a gamble and he very nearly gets his rewards. And that is a big interception, because I think that strike might have just beaten Schwarzer.
All Arsenal early on here. Perez with pace. Goalkeeper came for it and then left it. Then there was a miscue on the back post by Southgate, and Arsenal get a corner. They look nervous wrecks back there early on.
They're all over the place, Ian. Never mind nervous wrecks. Just look at that defending. You know, no one really wants to be decisive. I think it's someone like Gareth Southgate, who really is been rock steady since he's come here to the Riverside, and very much like the rest of the back four and the goalkeeper, they look very, very edgy.
Well, Arsenal have won 4-0 here twice in recent meetings. Lots of early pressure. This one towards the near post where Seagon was attacking it. And it was Macaroni that got it away.
Could have been 4 already.
Cole. Here's Reyes again.
Sometimes it's tackles like that that can lift the rest of the side, and Steve McClaren must be looking at his side's performance and was hoping that there wouldn't be a hangover from that defeat against Charlton, but it doesn't look that way at the moment.
Well, Macaroni's kept that in play, but only for Ashley Cole. Flamini linking up with Perez. Now out of international football, so well rested. Hasn't played for France for a year. Perez, this is Reyes. Leb, who's looked good since he's come into the Arsenal ranks. Can play all over the midfield. Right, left, even in the middle, and Arsenal get a free kick.
Caught Xavier's hand, and Mike Riley was thinking that Arsenal might just have the advantage, but that wasn't the case. This is decent striking distance.
Well, all Borough can do at the moment is hang on in there and hope there are other chapters to this particular book. Toure to hit one. Blocked. Another Arsenal corner.
Ray Parlour did well. Just closed it down enough that Toure was never really going to get that advantage of some distance between him and the wall.
All Toure's 6 Arsenal goals have been scored away from home, incidentally. He says he wants more goals this season. Yes, even at centre-back. This is Perez. Oh, and Schwarzer, double-fisted punch away, was effective. Yakubu held that up well. That's a good ball. Feeding young Adam Johnson on this left-hand side. Taking on Bergkamp, who found himself momentarily in the right-back position.
Did a good job, though, didn't he? Showed experience.
Flamini lost out to Macaroni, and he couldn't pick up Yakubu's clever little run. Cole. Ray Parlour, his old teammate, breaking it up there.
Middlesbrough haven't really been able to get into any sort of rhythm. It's been Arsenal that have taken control of this game. I said at the top, with a 5 in midfield, they would have hoped that Arsenal wouldn't have gained any rhythm, but you can see Middlesbrough really short on confidence.
They have been hit by a lot of injury problems, to be fair, early on in the season. Middlesbrough, Downing, Wiggett, Barnaby, Mendieta, McMahon, Morrison's ill. It's a lot of first-team regulars missing, and first-team possibles anyway. Yakubu, and this time it's Barrett. No, it isn't. He's given a goal kick.
I'm not sure about that one, unless it's rebounded back off Yakubu and gone out of play. But, Mike Riley was very quick to make that decision in favour of Arsenal. But it might need something as positive as this, you know, just to get towards the byline and try and win a corner or a throw-in, just something that's going to lift the fans and the rest of this Middlesbrough side.
This is Gilberto. Now Leb. This time Hill gets in with his challenge after that reprieve early on. Macaroni being deployed wide on the right. He hasn't scored a Middlesbrough goal since May of 2004 against Manchester City, but that's largely because he's been away on loan in Italy. £8.25 million he cost, of course, Macaroni. Here's Yakubu for Borough. This time they will get the corner.
We're looking for the delivery to be good from young Adam Johnson. We're used to seeing the left foot of Stuart Downing, and they're the shoes that he has to fill at the moment.
Here he is, the Sunderland-born Middlesbrough youngster, Adam Johnson with the corner. Too long for all of the red shirts, not the delivery they were looking for on that occasion. Now Hleb to use his pace. Oh, and he's wrestled out of it. Boateng could be in bother here.
Well, it's never going to be any more than a yellow card, but Hleb showing very good pace. You clearly see that Boateng has got hold of him, pulls him back. Mike Riley's got no choice but to give him a yellow card.
Boateng, the sometimes Bible-reading midfield player who's sometimes not so Christian in the tackle, I think it's fair to say. Yellow card for him. Here's Pires back to Seagon, who's keeping Philippe Senderos out of the side of the moment. It was a curious ball from Ashley Cole. I think the most surprised guy in the ground was Yakubu when it came back to him. There's going to be a free kick here and a yellow card for Kedru. It's 2 in about 40 seconds for Middlesbrough.
Sometimes you're just born out of frustration when things are not going your way. And Kedru is a very competitive player. He likes making challenges, and it's just a daft challenge on his part. You know, sometimes players, and it bewilders me at times, they really don't give the referee any choice whatsoever.
Mike Riley just having a word with Boateng about that at the moment, with a smile on his face. But they look anxious, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Brian.
They do. They've got no fluency about their performance. There's certainly not an awful lot of confidence within this Middlesbrough team at the moment.
Pires. He's looking to work that through to Ashley Cole. On the positive side, Middlesbrough have been under the cosh early on, but they haven't conceded yet. And maybe they will feel that they can just tighten up a little and start to get to grips with the problems that Arsenal are posing them. And there are quite a few of them, by the way.
Well, the problem is, Ian, when you're not playing well, is that, you know, when you're trying to get a rhythm, Arsenal are not a side you really want to be playing if things aren't going well for you, because the way Arsenal are popping passes around and everything is nice and comfortable for them, you know, you're just chasing shadows, and they might have 5 across that midfield at the moment, Middlesbrough, but no one can get particularly close to a yellow shirt.
Here's Hleb. Goes down, but the referee, close enough, said no free kick. Thought that Hleb was maybe looking for it a bit. This is Rockenbach.
Just being outpassed at the moment. You know, Arsenal are a quality side. I mean, let's not take anything away. We're talking about Middlesbrough lacking confidence, but this is a good Arsenal performance at the moment.
Ehiock's long and speculative ball only finds touch.
And that's another problem, you know, when you are under the cosh, you've only really got one to hit up front, so you've got to really try and knock little balls into midfield, and if they are getting cut out and they're not accurate and Arsenal are getting possession back again, very difficult to get the ball off them.
Bergkamp lost out in midfield and Borough have a chance to build an attack. Kedru feeding it forward to Rockenbach. And the Brazilian plays it wide here for the experienced Abel Xavier, who's with his 11th club now, by the way. Reyes to Bergkamp. Lovely little touch from Bergkamp. A bit too good for Ehiock, who managed to get his body in the way at the expense of a free kick, but that might have been cheap at the price, so to speak.
Talked about masterclass. Just have a look at this fella's performance, and I think Ehiock's a little bit fortunate not to get a yellow card there.
Cole. He's very much to the fore early on. He looks an Arsenal type of player, fits in straight away, doesn't he?
He reminds me a little bit of Perez, you know. He's got very good technical ability, both right and left foot. He can drift into very intelligent positions where it's difficult for the opposition to mark him. He's adjusted to life in the Premiership very quickly.
That's too long from Reyes. Are Middlesbrough just beginning to get a little bit of a foothold?
I think they need one or two to start making some tackles. I think that at the moment, you know, Arsenal's passing is good, don't get me wrong, but I don't see too many red shirts closing the Arsenal team down, and it's a little bit too comfortable with some of the passes that Arsenal are making right now.
Rocking back over there, going to the ground, getting the free kick for Borough, who haven't scored at home yet, and their players will be feeling they owe the fans a bit of a performance here, and themselves. It's Kerdrew, and he could have found Macaroni, who was in a good position on the back post if the ball had been stood up into that area. Parlour won it back well for Borough there. Boateng. This is the old Terminator himself, Fabio Rockenbach. He's got a good shot on him, I seem to remember, from his early days at Barcelona. Out of the Brazilian international picture there for some 4 years he's been. Yakubu's little flick on, difficult bounce. Ashley Cole, not really away. Seagon in the end. This is Rockenbach. Back to Kerdrew. Cole important head because Macaroni was in space behind him.
He very nearly found the perfect ball, didn't he, Kerdrew? It actually came from an earlier run. Well, the man in our picture that just seemed to stimulate this Middlesbrough side into a little bit more positive thinking. That ball from the left back there was very close to finding Macaroni.
Macaroni in a lot of space there, and a header into a decent area, but no red shirt there at all. Just Yakubu nominally playing up alone in the middle there, getting support when he can from out wide from Macaroni and Johnson. Here's Rockenbach just beginning to settle and see more of the ball in that midfield. Middlesbrough may be starting to believe that they've just ridden the early storm somewhat, starting to push forward themselves. A bit better from them. Here's Johnson. Boateng. Now Yakubu likes to drift into that left-hand area. Pacey and powerful Yakubu. And played by Southgate. And his 601st career appearance, by the way, for Middlesbrough today.
That's a better little spell, wasn't it, from Middlesbrough? And the reason for it was they kept the ball. You know, they won it back in important areas, but their passing was far better. Had a little bit more zip about it.
By the way, Arsenal just a bit behind some of the other teams in terms of games played. They've actually had 17 days off because their game with Liverpool had to be postponed, with Liverpool involved in the European Super Cup match.
So didn't look particularly happy. A little bit of a surprise, maybe a bit frustrated that his side are not at least a goal or two up. I'm sure Steve McClaren will be maybe hoping and thinking that his side have just survived that early Arsenal dominance.
That win against Birmingham, Middlesbrough's only one so far, but you heard Steve McClaren saying beforehand that he's happy enough with 4 points so far from the first 4 games, which, by the way, one of 2 tricky ones in there.
Yeah, there was, but I think there's a sense of man management on Steve's part to say that 4 points is acceptable out of the 4 games. He knows that he's really increased expectation levels here up on Teesside with the fact that they've had a little bit of success in a domestic competition and also qualifying for the UEFA Cup.
It's fair to say too, there's one or two little rumblings about from some of the fans who want to see Middlesbrough be a little bit more cavalier and enterprising with their home performances.
Well, certainly adds more fuel to the frustration the fans fire that goes with 5 in midfield. I mean, I said at the top, it seems to be the vogue, and if you can get your wide players into the game, and as Gareth Southgate tried to do there with that long diagonal ball to Macaroni, then you can turn that 4-5-1 into a 4-3-3, and it's a little bit more attacking, but we've seen Middlesbrough predominantly defending.
Rockenbach with the delivery, Seagant with the header away, important, a lot of red shirts waiting behind him. Schwarzer, who's been away on long-distance travelling, playing in Sydney against the Solomon Islands for Australia. Australia have got a chance of making the World Cup finals as well. They'll have to play off against the 5th team in the South American group. At the moment, that's Uruguay, who prevented them getting to the finals last time. It's one of the reasons I think Viduka's on the bench all that travelling. He's the Australian captain these days. This is Perez. Now Lauren. Leb. Gilberto. Leb again. Taking the eyes so far. Reyes, and the flag stays down. If Lauren can keep that in play, he easily can. Here's Perez. Well broken up by Ray Parler. But Yakubu looks around for support. There's not too much of it. Rockenbach trying to make a little run ahead of the striker from midfield, but it just all broke down there.
It's the problem when you play one up top, though, Ian. You know, if you are going to get isolated breaks, and that's what happened there for Middlesbrough. Not an awful lot of support coming Yakubu's way.
Flamini onto Perez, lovely first touch into space from him. Still such a clever player. It seems ridiculous really that France, if they do make the World Cup finals, won't have Perez in the 22, but he's fallen out with the coach Raymond Domenech.
Well, I saw the French national side in Dublin on Wednesday night. I have to say that they could probably do with a little bit of flair from Robert Perez. A lot of good players in that side, but not a huge amount of creativity.
Even at 31, he's still a marvellous player, and not many people score more goals than him either in the season.
It's very, if you look at the stats over the last few years as well, people talking about Thierry Henry's record, and I think he's created the bulk of Henry's goals, so it's the sort of part that he's played in this Arsenal side.
Young Johnson. Bit of a lucky bounce off him to Parler. Now Macaroni. Technical Xavier, his experience might be quite important for Borough. And they do have quite a lot of over 30s in their squad, about 10 I think it is, but fair to say too there are a lot of exciting youngsters all produced from this area. Look at that from Reyes, lovely little cameo from him. In towards Bergkamp, who tried something instinctive, didn't quite work out, but there was some beautiful football in that build-up.
He's been outstanding this opening half an hour, hasn't he, Reyes? Just have a look at this, and the audacity, just to flick a ball through Xavier's legs. That's twice he's been done, nutmegged, once by Bergkamp and once by Reyes, but Dennis Bergkamp, as good as he is, that would have been a very, very difficult chance to have scored from. He really has to open his body there. He's trying to side foot the ball rather than get any real power. Other than their finishing, Arsenal have been outstanding. The evidence that you need, really. There's a lot of opportunities come their way. Only one hit the target. Probably that's the thing that the Arsenal manager will be frustrated with. There's one area that is showing a little bit of weakness.
Xavier to Parler. Clever little ball round the corner for Macaroni. Parler again driving from the midfield. Now then, Johnson has just played too far ahead of him.
Disappointing end. It's going to need a break from midfield. We've seen it a couple of times from Rockenbach, who's looked decent this first half an hour. Probably not going to see it from Boateng, because he's the one that will just sit in front of that back four, but somebody's really got to try and join Yakubu.
Here's Bergkamp. Flamini preferred today to Fabregas, who's just being rested. He's been playing for the Spanish under-21 side. Kedru, one for Yakubu to chase, but Touré is quick and alert enough. Just caught Lauren a bit there, Yakubu, a little bit late. The referee's just making a note of it and says, look, I saw that. Lauren made very little of it, to be fair.
It's very wild, wasn't it, from Yakubu? I just wonder if this ball goes out to play, whether Mike Riley will do anything about that challenge. Just going to check whether Lauren is okay. Fortunately, he is.
He played an advantage for it, but due note was taken, I think we can say.
Yeah. One problem that Middlesbrough have had, given that we talked about this five across the midfield, is that Kleb and Pires are not playing out wide. They're actually tucking inside, and they're a little bit unsure as to who was going to mark the two Arsenal wide players.
Well, it's been in the news this week, and of course there were those who were saying the body language said that he looked like the manager the other night and not Sven-Göran Eriksson. He'd like to be the manager. He's made that clear in a recent radio interview that he believes he has the credentials and eventually he would like the job.
You'll let him be the manager when you lose 1-0 to Northern Ireland, though, do you?
What are you talking about? Guilt by association. So one or two other candidates as well. A bit of publicity about Sam Allardyce in that direction, the Bolton manager this morning. Bound to get that, aren't we, at the moment? Here's Gilberto. And incidentally, Arsene Wenger defending Sven-Göran Eriksson fairly forcibly at his press conference yesterday. Nobody there to support Rockenbach. No free kick either for him. Here's Pires, who got the winner in this fixture back in April. In fact, he scored in both games against Middlesbrough last season. Reyes in towards Pires, just behind him. Just times when Arsenal's movement looks almost mesmeric.
Excellent, wasn't it? You know, people thought that this would be a difficult season for Arsenal. I'm not saying that they're going to, you know, not have a difficult time of it, because I still believe that they're in this sort of period of transition. But Arsene Wenger hasn't really had the opportunity to go out and spend the amount, certainly, that Chelsea have. But you do get the feeling that if they can give this sort of performance, then they're going to compete with what Chelsea are going to do this season.
Great ball from Rockenbach with the other new signing, Xavier, towards the back post. Yakubu! Can he pull the trigger there with the header? Lauren did just about enough by being in the way, and it wasn't really the crispest connection from Yakubu either.
Well, they should give them a lift, shouldn't they? This is good play from Xavier. They just put Ashley Cole to try and make a challenge against him, and it's a decent ball to that far post. So it's going to be a difficult one for Yakubu to head, because he's always running away from the goal. As well to get a corner out of it.
Here is that corner, Rockenbach again. Seagon helping up the goalkeeper Jens Lehmann. And here's Reyes. Arsenal looking for a fast break. Pires helping out. Bergkamp's pulled away on the far side. They kept it going with Reyes again. Tries a bit of trickery on Parler. No foul.
Arsene Wenger's absolutely furious. He felt that he should have had a free kick at least there.
Bergkamp, Leb.
Well, if this game does open up, which is what the Middlesbrough fans want it to do, I actually fear for this Middlesbrough side, such as Arsenal's passing has been so good.
Well, I'll tell you something, I covered the game against Charlton here, Brian. They're playing 3 times as well as they did against Charlton. Charlton were good that day in that 3-0 win as well. Now, was Yakubu's wrong blocked by Lauren there on that far side? Nothing given.
You shouldn't take anything away from Charlton because they've had a fantastic start to the season. Won again today.
Yeah. And Darren Bent again.
A horrible habit of keep scoring every week, isn't he?
Not too horrible for him. It's Ashley Cole. Bergkamp in the middle. Perez plays it back. Reyes looks for a little 1-2. Just occasionally you could accuse Arsenal of perhaps over-elaborating.
Yeah, you're right. You just need that incisive pass.
Reyes. It's good to watch though, isn't it? A lot of it. Yakubu.
Well, if you're a Middlesbrough fan or a player though, is it?
Yakubu's got a little knock. He hasn't scored yet for Middlesbrough. I remember in his opening days in the Premiership before Christmas at Portsmouth, he only scored once or twice. Then he couldn't stop scoring once he got going.
It takes time for players to settle it at new clubs, and Middlesbrough spent a lot of money on him in the summer. He's still very young, you know. People tend to forget.
22.
He's, you know, he's got a lot of time on his side, and Middlesbrough just have to be patient with him.
He scored plenty against Middlesbrough when he was down at Portsmouth, including 4 in one game. Here's Bergkamp. He's on his own though. It's Dennis Bergkamp looking around for support. It's beginning to arrive now. Gilberto had made a sprint into the middle.
No, I don't think he was offside. I'll tell you what about the way that he brought that ball under control? He has got to be one of the best foreign players that we've had in our league. Absolutely superb, the quality that he has given to the English Premier League year after year. Just have a look at this, over his shoulder, bang, instant control.
What
absolutely brilliant.
What technique from Dennis Bergkamp. 36 now, and in his 20th season of top-class professional football with Ajax, Inter, and of course Arsenal.
You'd put him up alongside the likes of Zola and Cantona, wouldn't you? The best foreign players that have played in this country.
Rockenbach was caught from behind there by Seagon. You heard him scream out, and Seagon might be in a bit of bother there. I think the referee's going to be happy just with the free kick.
Lucky was at the time, really. Not sure how much contact that Seagon makes against Rockenbach, but I just confirmed my initial thoughts. I can't even believe he's got a free kick.
That was bizarre. He might have just caught his foot on Seagon's knee inadvertently as he pulled it back. Beyond that, well, Xavier taking advantage as Perez missed the ball there. Parler. Adam. Pedro. Wrong delivery with Yakubu and Macaroni waiting and hoping in the middle. Adam Johnson. Middlesbrough haven't scored, remember, a home goal against Arsenal since the year 2000 when Hamilton, Rickard and Paul Ince were on target in a 2-1 win. Yes, that long ago.
One area that they have got a bit of joy from Middlesbrough, Ian, is getting the fullbacks out.
Johnson has got that away from Long. Can he get the crossing? Not quite. Macaroni made a good run towards the near post. Good play by the youngster.
It was a little unfortunate, but good defending from Gilberto. Didn't allow the youngster to get the cross in. It's a decent ball in from Rockenbach. The last time they had a corner from this side, and Lehmann was certainly put under a little bit of pressure. As we know, he doesn't always deal with people standing in front of him all too well.
Rockenbach goes for a short one this time. Here's Fabio Rockenbach again. Intelligent looking ball. Johnson loses possession. Now Arsenal have got a break on. 3 against 3 for the moment. Here's the jet-heeled Reyes. Bergkamp's waiting in the middle. It's still Reyes. And low, hard, but Schwarzer had it covered.
There would have been a few harsh looks towards Alan Johnson if Reyes had capitalised on his mistake on the edge of the Arsenal box.
Yes, that would have been a horrible moment for him had Arsenal scored there. Parla to Macaroni. Now Yakubu. Johnson in loads of space on this side. Here he is. Up against the experienced Lauren. Tough baptism. Boateng. Now then Yakubu looking to spin. Well, he got a chance now. Yakubu with his first ever Middlesbrough goal, and the first they've scored at home against Arsenal for 5 years.
How many times do you see a side that have lots and lots of chances and squander those chances, and then it comes back to haunt them? Well, that's what we've had in this first half, because it's been all Arsenal. They've had great possession, not been able to capitalise it, and then a wonderful piece of skill. Perhaps a little bit fortunate in the way that he does eventually get this Yakubu, because he wants to turn one way, he has to go the other. But what a finish! What a quality finish that is! And that's not the finish of a man that's been struggling to get goals, because that is full of confidence. And what a great boost that is for Middlesbrough, because they've been under the cosh. Make no mistakes whatsoever about that.
And Arsenal pay the penalty for not making that early pressure and those early chances tell. What a relief for Yakubu. That's what they paid the money for.
Is that their first chance?
Yeah, I think so. As far as I can remember. First real one anyway. Put away in some style, it should be said, by Yakubu. It was his initial spin as well that caused the problems for Toure. Now listen to the Middlesbrough fans who had a good old moan in the last home match. Different mood here now. They've ridden that early storm by Arsenal. Now they're beginning to impose themselves, and this is what Steve McLaren would call the real borough.
We've been looking for them to step forward for some time now. Been a very inconsistent start to the season for his Middlesbrough side, but they should get a boost from that. And this fella doesn't mind taking his chances from this distance. What a run up that Steve Harmison would be proud of.
Say, you'd see this in the Ashes, wouldn't you? He's rocking back. He got plenty of velocity on it. Good length, just outside the off stump.
Well, he's got previous from this distance, hasn't he? Rocking back. You know, we know he comes with a reputation from taking those on and actually getting decent success rate from it.
Scoring about 8 minutes after coming on against Liverpool in the Champions League game in his days with Barcelona when he was just a kid. Here's Slim. Problems here though for Arsenal, who find themselves behind in a match yet again, as they did of course when they lost to Chelsea. They were behind against Fulham, won that 4-1.
I talked about this Arsenal side going through a period of transition. Well, to win trophies, you need character, and you need to be able to respond when the situation needs it. Now, this is a time for them to respond.
Here's Perez. Cole turning up in an unexpected area. Family back in there. It's all a little bit narrow and very, very congested, and Middlesbrough predictably get it away. Not much width about the attack on occasions from Arsenal, with Hlebs tending to push in and Perez as well.
That's another example, really, of Arsenal being over-elaborate. You know, they've played some really top-quality stuff, but when they've got in the final third, they're almost trying to score the greatest goal that's ever been. You know, it's got to be 4, 5, 6, 7 passes, and it's all just too very tight, and Middlesbrough are just breaking that up.
And that goal, of course, will have given Middlesbrough so much added confidence. They started this game very, very anxious and clearly lacking in belief.
They need to see it through, though, Ian. You know, it's fine getting yourself in front, but this is an important period just before half-time. You know, if they go in at the interval, we get a huge reception from their fans. if it stays like this. If Arsenal equalise, then there'll be a lot of disappointment in this ground.
Here's Yakubu. This Kadru was subbed at half-time in the last home game. Here they put Emmanuel Pogatetz, the new signing, on in his place. That raised one or two eyebrows. Kadru's back today. He gets a few goals from that left-back position as well. Sigon wanted too much time. Here's Johnson in towards Yakubu. He's offside.
Just went a bit too early. Clever play though. Johnson and Yakubu linking up well. And you can see there, he's just so anxious to get in behind Toure. We know what power and pace that Yakubu does possess, so there's no real need for him to go that early.
There'll be 1 minute of added time, so only a matter of seconds if Arsenal want to do anything about this scoreline before the break. Back to Ashley Cole, who must be starting to think that this isn't quite his week. Gilberto on the ball now. Oh, a lovely touch again from Reyes. Up at least early on. Arsenal instead, Arsene Wenger's side find themselves trailing by one here, with the referee looking at his watch just before half-time. Utter frustration for Arsene Wenger.
Can't quite believe it, can he? With all that possession, he created some decent opportunities, but yet they go in 1-0 down.
That's it, Yakubu's first ever goal for Middlesbrough after they'd ridden out an early blitz from Arsenal, giving Middlesbrough the lead and restoring a bit of belief here and bringing the crowd to life here around the Riverside. Middlesbrough then sitting pretty. Can Arsenal do something about this in the second half? At half-time, it's Middlesbrough 1, Arsenal 0.
Well, in terms of possession and quality, there's only one team in it, but the scoreline says rather differently. George's thoughts after the break. Middlesbrough have broken their goal drought. Yakubu is the hero of Teesside.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
A football double tomorrow and Monday, Sky Sports. First Ford Super Sunday tomorrow, 3:30. A Lancashire derby.
Oh, what a goal!
Bolton take on Blackburn.
Sensational!
Then Ford Monday Night Football at 7:30. It's West Ham v Aston Villa. A football double tomorrow and Monday, Sky Sports 1.
It took something extraordinary to emerge as Car of the Year 2005. A car with adaptive front lighting, solar reflect windscreens, and keyless entry. The very latest in Bluetooth voice control and the highest Euro NCAP safety rating in its class ever. The new Ford Focus, now available with a typical 5.5% APR. For details, visit your Ford dealer today.
Hey, you're playing golf.
Yeah.
It's not a bad luck, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Fancy a 4X, mate.
Oh, yeah. I got a crate of it in the...
Flies well, doesn't it?
The powerful performance of Dactar in dual-action spray powder beats athlete's foot and helps prevent it coming back.
On DVD, Simon thought he'd met the perfect girl.
Did you tell them that I'm white?
You're white? Stop the clock!
Until he met her father.
Something about the boy just ain't right.
Now packed with unseen footage.
What's wrong with you, boy?
Bernie Mac, Ashton Kutcher.
That's what I'm talking about.
Guess Who? On DVD Monday.
Who's in the hut?
See that bloke over there? He has got the biggest hair in the universe.
I reckon it's these crusts with cheese on top, you know, making his hair curl.
That's just something your mother tells you when you're little. It's completely untrue.
You calling my mum a liar?
That golden stuffed crust is our must-have special for only $9.99. Oh, and that thing your mum said about hair curling crusts, she was lying.
She told you the story. Deal with it.
At B&Q, we've half-price doors on this ivory kitchen. That means this complete kitchen, including appliances, is under £1,700. And save 20% on this Seattle bathroom suite. It's now under £560. For great savings, hurry to B&Q.
Three, we like music.
So, how's business been, sir?
You can't complain. Oh, who would listen?
Who would listen?
Can't say I'll never rap again. You know, as a talent, you know, who am I? I'm a man. Anybody that made it successful from where I come from, they never came back. Simon, you ever bought a Jay-Z album?
Oh, of course, sir.
Open the door for the next generation the way it was open for me.
Nil-nil can be pretty dull. Unless you switch your current account to Barclays. With 0% for 10 months on overdrafts and credit card transfers, nil-nil's a bit of a result.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
Football first, coming up this evening, game of the day and match choice, all from 8:25 on Sky Sports 1. And from La Liga, it's Real Madrid against Celta Vigo from 7 on Sky Sports 3. Some terrific entertainment here at the Riverside. But, George, can you explain to me how Middlesbrough are beating Arsenal?
I can't, Marcus. I mean, some of the football Arsenal's played has been absolutely breathtaking. The quality and the speed of their passing, their 1- and 2-touch movements, the build-up to the play is just an education for any youngster who want to become a footballer. But, and this is a big but, it all fizzles out once they get near the 18-yard line. And I don't understand it, but this is Arsenal, and I've seen them many times over the last 3 or 4 years. It's just something you must accept. They play the sophisticated football, they have wonderful combinations of passing, and when they get some of the goals, they are wonderful to watch. But like days like today, where they should actually be punishing teams, you know, after producing their wonderful football, they're not punished, Middlesbrough today.
And Middlesbrough have therefore managed to get themselves out of jail with their first home goal of the season. Yakubu has broken his duck. Toure presumably just gets too tight to him here.
Yeah, it's a nice little ball here from Boateng, pushes it in, and this is one of Yakubu's strengths, his physical presence. He loves backing into centre halves, like here, he'll back in.
He gets a little bit lucky, doesn't he, with the slight deflection?
Very fortunate. But the thing about Yakubu, Marcus, is he worries 50% about the physical thing, so he's backing into the centre half there, and he should really, an Arsenal player would be more worried about the ball than the physical aspect of it. Yakubu worries about the physical, and he gives centre halves a really rough time.
Have you got a bit of sympathy for Toure there?
Not really. I think he got a bit too close. Before the game, he knows Yakubu's strengths, and that's one of his strengths, backing in. Toure should have known that. But when he's read the situation trying to be turned, Yakubu got the break of the ball there. But what a good finish. Wonderful finish.
Up the other end, Jose Antonio Reyes could have had a hat-trick. He could have had 2 inside the first 10 minutes. He was explosive in those early stages in particular.
I mean, some of the football, as I said, the 1- and 2-touch passing. And here, he hits the target. Well saved by Schwarzer. Good save. That, I thought he should have scored. Again, side foot pass. Takes it on his stronger foot, his left foot. And this is another one here.
Well, the combination play with himself and with Pires has been magnificent. But ultimately, do Arsenal lack a big, strong centre-forward who can just score those simple goals when you need them?
No, listen, the football Arsenal's played over the last 4 or 5 years, Marcus, has been breathtaking, and they won't change. Arsenal, they will not throw balls in the box from flank positions the way a lot of clubs will do. They will not put it in there. They'll go down the flank, and especially Ashley Cole down the left side. Instead of Ashley throwing it into the box, nobody wants to head the ball in there. He'll come back out again and they'll start to build up again. But if you can, it's easier to defend against that because you just need to defend through the middle of the pitch, and that's where Arsenal's moves. It's through the middle. They don't go down the flanks and put crosses in at all.
Well, Arsene Wenger spoke about self-belief before this game. He said that the team didn't know just how good they are. Have they got the belief to come back in this one? We'll find out very shortly.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
This will be the greatest war the world has ever seen. Brad Pitt, Orlando Bloom, Eric Banner, Troy. Tonight at 8, 9 and 10 on Sky Movies.
When Budweiser became official beer of the FA Premier League, we thought, hey, Manchester United and Manchester City? Why not just Team Manchester? The names are a little dull. How about Portsmouth Pirates? Aha! And does London need so many clubs? Let's send Arsenal to the Peak District. They need a good team. But then we thought, nah, so how about you do the football, we'll do the beer.
Paul Krug was arrested for breaking the law. Now it's the prisoners versus the guards. The longest yard.
How's it look? Kind of like a young Michael Jackson. Collect the soundtrack to your life.
You're unbelievable.
Girls who are boys, who like boys, who be girls, who moving, just keep moving. Get broadband from BT from only $17.99 with 6 free downloads from iTunes.
There's no feeling like M3 Power. Press the button and feel the boost in performance. Introducing M3 Power Nitro, the first battery-powered shaving system from Gillette. M3 Power with a bold new look. Feel the power of Gillette's closest, most comfortable shave. New M3 Power Nitro from Gillette.
See in your car.
One woman.
A country has been devastated by civil war. There's 1 million refugees on the move, many of whom are approaching starvation. Who's going to help them?
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for our 3 volunteers? Here you go, boys. Why don't you throw these down your pipes? All right, Paul, release the beast!
Are you sure?
Well, hey, don't worry, there's no sugar.
Pepsi Max. Taste to the max.
Get every Barclays Premiership goal on match day. And watch Sky Sports Soccer Saturday with Vodafone Live.
Come with me, friends. Gather round. Come join the circle. Let us share our journey along life's highway. 2 of us, 5 of us, 4 of us, all of us. Together as one.
Oh, please shut up.
The Renault Modus, the Mini MPV, with very versatile triptych seating.
Welcome to a world where you can take your bank with you, wherever you are. Where you can talk to a real person night and day, every day of the year, including Sundays and holidays. And even get your balance sent to you as a text. Switch to a bank that puts you first.
Pray he takes after his mother.
We have 3 live games for you tomorrow. It's Crewe against Derby, 1 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. Bolton Blackburn, the Super Sunday encounter from 3:30 on Sky Sports 1. And from La Liga tomorrow evening at 6, also on 1, it's Barcelona against Real Mallorca. Let's confirm what's happened already in the Premiership today. Another win for Charlton, their 4th in a row at Birmingham. Darren Bent again on target. Chelsea have made it 5 wins out of 5. It's 5 defeats out of 5 for Sunderland. Jeremy and Drogba at Stamford Bridge. Everton beaten at home by Portsmouth, who win at last. A Duncan Ferguson own goal. 1 apiece at Old Trafford. Joey Barton with the equaliser for Manchester City. Newcastle 1, Fulham 1. Michael Owen didn't mark his debut with a goal. And Zogbia with Newcastle's first of the season, but Brian McBride had put Fulham in front. It was goalless at White Hart Lane. And Wigan winning thanks to a 90th minute goal from Jimmy Bullard at West Brom. Here at the Riverside, Middlesbrough are leading Arsenal by a goal to 0. Jose Antonio Reyes could have had a hat-trick in the first half. Yakubu is the man who's scored. What are the respective managers going to be thinking just at the moment, George?
It's a very difficult one, Marcus, because if you're the Arsenal manager, you know, you've dominated the game, created chances, and you're getting 1-0 down. He's just got to say, listen, guys, the same again, but let's be more positive. Let's have some shots from 20, 25 yards, 30 yards even, because they're just now, they're just over-elaborating just outside the box.
He's got the option of Van Persie.
Yes, I think Van Persie is a good finisher. He's one of the few players that comes alive in the penalty area. So yeah, I can see Van Persie coming on if Arsenal don't score in the first 20 minutes.
And presumably Steve McLaren is just thankful for small mercies.
He'll be delighted. He'll try to keep the same formation, the same team discipline with Boateng, trying to do a good job in front of the back 4 where the majority of Arsenal's come through the middle. So he'll be saying, same again, let's not concede.
I suspect this could be a fascinating second half. Let's rejoin Brian Marwood and Ian Dark.
Yeah, here to that. And Middlesbrough could overtake Arsenal in the early table as well. But a reminder of a game early last season where Middlesbrough, in the 42nd game of Arsenal's unbeaten run, led 3-1 at Highbury, and Arsenal won it by 5 goals to 3. One of the best games of last season. This isn't a bad one either so far, full of intrigue. Middlesbrough against the run of play, you might say, leading by a goal to 0, but possibly growing in confidence.
It doesn't matter, doesn't it? I mean, they've got themselves ahead, and that's what really mattered most. I'm sure that Steve McLaren won't kid himself. His side were second best for the best part of that first half, but they've got themselves into a great position now. Can they carry that forward and pick up a much-needed 3 points? And that's a test for his side. He's going to say, go out in those 45 minutes now and prove that you're capable of beating one of the best teams in the country.
Macaroni looking to take on Ashley Cole, who's had a busy time, of course, with England. His 3rd game in a matter of days. A lot of the internationals in the Arsenal squad have been given a bit of a rest today, or at least they're on the bench. Ray Parlour, brighter performance from him today against his old club. Now then, this is Adam Johnson. What a story if he was to come up with something today. Tricky little run, look at this from the youngster. And the crowd absolutely love that from the local boy.
Well, that's what he's about. We haven't seen too much of that. I've had the benefit of seeing him over the past 12 months, so I know what he's capable of doing. And he's that type of player, and he likes to pick the ball up and just run at defenders.
Worth reminding ourselves that Middlesbrough won the FA Youth Cup in 2004 with a side who were all from a 20-mile radius of this town. That's terrific, really, isn't it?
It is. And I tell you what, Dave Parnaby, the Academy Director, has done a brilliant job. You look at the conveyor belt of talent, and this boy is the next one to come off that conveyor belt. You know, you look at the substitutes. Danny Graham got him out of local football. So, from that point of view, they've certainly got things right at this football club.
And credit to Steve McLaren for playing him in a tough game like Arsenal. I know they thought a little bit about playing Pogatetz wide on the left, but Johnson's got the nod. He hasn't let them down yet. Robin van Persie is being warmed up by Arsenal to give them another attacking option. Ehiok's header away. He's recovered from that shaky start where he nearly let Reyes in for a goal, and another good challenge from him there as well. This is Boateng, a key figure for Middlesbrough, his tackling and covering in the midfield. There's a lot of the Stuart Downing, isn't there, about Adam Johnson?
There is. There's a lot of similarities there. They'll be very well blessed, aren't they? Or Stuart Downing signed a new contract here. And of course, Adam Johnson coming through as well. So it certainly augurs well for the future of Middlesbrough Football Club. I mean, the chairman, Steve Gibson, spent a lot of money, but it's important to get a youth team, and one of the players that came from the Arsenal youth team, Ashley Cole, just getting a yellow card there for, it was a handball. Might well have been a deliberate handball as Macaroni just tried to flick the ball around him.
He's in the book anyway, Ashley Cole, along with Boateng and Kedru, by the way, in the first half for Middlesbrough, in case anybody's keeping count. Xavier up towards Yakubu, again using that physical strength that George Graham was talking about at half-time. Just put himself about, he's a bit of a handful. Now then, Perez. Arsenal have to turn the pretty football into a tangible return by way of goals. Bergkamp. Now Flamini. Perez again. They're attacking on a very narrow front, though. Middlesbrough, a mass rank of red there. Now then, here's Leb. Did that come off Southgate last? It looked like it, yeah.
So there's some more defending to do now for Middlesbrough. They did plenty of it in the first half.
Reyes goes short. Back to Perez. Reyes on that good left foot of his. He might hit it from here. It's Reyes. That's a fine block by Ray Parler. And now Borough can break, can they? Yakubu. And Reyes, it was who got in the challenge as well to stop Yakubu.
I don't think Mike Riley's making himself too popular with Middlesbrough contingent. I felt they should have had a throw-in, really. It's got a good feel, good positive feel to this game, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's good buzz about it, and the crowd have come to life, of course, since that Borough goal. I think they were just fearing the worst and waiting for Arsenal to score before that.
Yeah, once again, you see Robert Perez. I mean, he's central there. He was so far in field. It's difficult for Middlesbrough players just to pick him up and wonder where he's going to roam into.
Perez, a little turn around the corner. Flamini nearly picking up Ashley Cole. He keeps coming forward from that left-back position to become an auxiliary attacker. Important for Borough that they do pick up his runs. Here's Leb. Perez, look at the movement, look at that turn from Leb. It's lovely football, it's Ashley Cole! Brilliant move from Arsenal. Again, Middlesbrough with some steadfast defending, but they've got more of it to do now, because here is Reyes again. And good play from Kedru.
Oh, that's good play. I think it might have been the Middlesbrough skipper Gareth Southgate that saved them, when Ashley Cole looked as if he was going to equalise.
Leb again with a beautiful ball, but Perez's back heel was to nobody. on that occasion. Arsenal going through the full repertoire of their attacking, telepathic passing movements, but they can't break Middlesbrough down and create anything too clear-cut yet. I do stress yet. Flamini. Here's Leb. Hasn't scored for Arsenal yet. It can only be a matter of time, though he did only get 4 at Stuttgart all last season. Yakubu, well, they were trying to take the shirt off his back.
Well, never mind taking the shirt off his back, he's taken the pressure away from his back four, so that's great play from Yakubu.
No booking for Toure for that little tuck.
Well, he's maybe a little bit fortunate. A little bit fortunate. But you have to say, it's almost as if somebody said to Arsenal, you can't shoot on goal from anything more than 18 yards, because they're passing their way through and trying to score, you know, incredible goals. But you just think at times, why don't you just go and strike from distance? There's enough quality, there's enough players out there, they've got the ability to do that.
And it is very, very narrow, their attacking front, despite the brilliance of some of the passing, which makes it a bit easier for Middlesbrough to condense the space, of course. Fascinatingly poised, this one. Kedru, look at this, Macaroni, looking to spin into space, Yakubu again! Oh, nearly number 2 for Middlesbrough, and Lehmann did very well.
In some respects, Macaroni got himself into similar position than what Yakubu did when he scored the goal in the first half. And that's a great save from Jens Lehmann. Really is a terrific save, because he gets down very quickly, and the important thing is he gets a good hand to it, a good strong hand.
Kept Arsenal in touch there on his 100th Arsenal appearance, the goalkeeper. That was a brilliant save, it really was, and it was better when you saw it again.
Well, it just kept deciding the game, you know. 2-0, Middlesbrough really would have gained a huge amount of confidence from that scoreline.
Kedru. Oh, and then it was Johnson who tried his luck with the right foot as the ball dropped to him.
He didn't have too much time to think about it, did he? Adam Johnson.
Reyes again has signed a new contract to 2011, Jose Antonio Reyes, despite the speculation linking him with a move away from Highbury last season.
I just think they're a little bit sloppy at the moment, Arsenal. They really are creating their own problems. It's a decent effort from young Johnson, but you know something about Middlesbrough is they're playing with a bit more verve, a bit more pace, and it really is beginning to benefit and suit their play.
Right into Johnson again there, giving him plenty of the ball. The Middlesbrough players, they know what he can do from the training ground, and he certainly hasn't been overawed on his Premiership debut. He's only played 11 minutes in the first team before today. That was against Sporting Lisbon in the UEFA Cup last year as a substitute.
He's looked better in the second half. He's getting a little bit of confidence from 1 or 2 decent runs.
And here's a decent run from Lev, but the flag is up.
Well, Ashley Cole very nearly equalising. This was a good piece of defending. Once again, clever play from Arsenal. They're looking for that intricate passing. Very, very tight, but they've got enough quality to find themselves in these situations, and that's a great saving challenge from Gareth Southgate. How many times have we seen him doing challenges like that over the years?
Yakubu. This comes Seagull. We have the kind of championship races these days, don't we, Brian, where the teams who win it can hardly afford to lose a game. Arsenal didn't themselves. Chelsea only lost 1 last year. If Arsenal lose here, they'll have lost 2 of the first 4.
Yeah, no, you're playing catch-up. You know that Chelsea is such a good side, it's difficult to peg them back.
Lawrence cross, cut out by Kedru, who's making a good case for himself. Might have to battle for his place a bit against Pogatetz this season, but he's the man in occupation, all right. Kolo Toure, whose brother Yaya, by the way, will be featuring in the Champions League as well this season for Olympiacos. Good player, apparently.
Who?
Yaya Toure. Watch for him, Brian.
Yaya.
Easy to say. Here's Sleb onto Bergkamp. Now Reyes. Seagon. Centre-back's pass, really.
Just a little bit frustrating, isn't it, for Arsene Wenger's side at the moment. Not playing as well as they did in the early part of the first half. Don't take any credit away from what Middlesbrough have done. They scored against a run of play. They've gone in the interval. No doubt one or two words have been said, and they've come out with a little bit more determination and pace about their play, and they look a far better side because of it.
There's a yellow card here for Flamini. Standing in front of the ball while they tried to take the free kick. Just getting a bit frustrated, Arsenal. They looked so on top of things, so in control, so regal in the first quarter of an hour or so.
Well, there's a lot of grace about their play at the moment. That's not the case. I don't think it'll be too long before we see Robin van Persie. A very creative player.
No Thierry Henry, of course, today for Arsenal. Slight groin inflammation is what the medical people from Arsenal are telling us. We'll wait to see how quickly he can come back from that. Rockenbach was not a good ball from him on this occasion. Pires, now Gleb. Flamini's going to be withdrawn, we understand, by Arsenal. That booking might have been his last involvement. Not quite, because he has the ball now. Fabregas is the player who will replace him. A like-for-like switch. Gleb, great turn into space. Bergkamp, back to Gleb again. Was he brought down there? Was he impeded? Gleb on his way through. Arsenal want a penalty. They're not getting one. And meanwhile, at the other end, Yakubu looking to put pressure on this Arsenal defence. Oh, is this broken for Macaroni? Great chance! Massimo Macaroni! 2-0! This is first goal for Middlesbrough for over a year.
Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Absolutely unbelievable. One end, Arsenal are claiming they should have had a penalty. I'm not convinced. And then at the other end, a surprise attack, a counter-attack. But have a look at Sagan's defending. When you see this go down the field, because Xavier just comes across. I don't think there's an awful lot really there. But they turn defence into attack very, very quickly. He does well here, Yakubu. But have a look at Sagan. He does nothing. He does nothing, and he just steps up. That's lazy defending on the part of the Arsenal centre-back. But that's a great finish from Macaroni, because he maintains his composure. 1v1 with the keeper. And it's absolutely utopia from this Middlesbrough side at the moment.
2 weeks ago here, absolutely everything went wrong for Middlesbrough. They were desperate. But here they are, 2-0 up against the mighty Gunners. The smash and grab raid continues. It's Ashley Cole.
Who says 4-5-1 can't work?
No. Steve McLaren's 4-5-1 as well. Flamini went off while the celebrations were going on for that goal, and Cesc Fabregas has come on after his exploits for the Spanish under-21 side in recent days. Bizarre old game, this one.
Yeah, it is. And how many times we were talking about at half-time, you know, the two anomalies in football for me are a side that has lots and lots of opportunities and lots of the play, and then the other side seem to take advantage of that and win the game. And when a side goes down to 10 men, they seem to be playing better than when they had 11 on the pitch. And it's absolutely crazy, because anybody coming into this ground would have seen Arsenal's performance in the first 25 minutes and think that they would have been 3-4 ahead. And instead, 60 minutes of Middlesbrough winning this football match by 2-0.
It's part of the attraction of the game, though, isn't it? That can happen.
Long may it continue.
That not everything just goes to form. Bergkamp, Toure looking to make a run. Ehiog made sure he wasn't going to get on the end of it. Now, was it a penalty, this incident with Leb a few seconds ago, just before the goal?
I actually think, Ian, that when Xavier comes across him, I think there's some contact. But I don't believe for one moment Kleb is actually going to get this ball. I think it's too far ahead of him. I'm not convinced he would have got that.
But regardless of whether he would, if there was contact, Arsenal would argue they had a case for a penalty. It was in the box.
He's had a lot of decisions to make, hasn't he? Mike Riley. Got them all right today, that's for sure. He's angered both Middlesbrough and Arsenal fans.
Just a little talking point when on such little issues do these games turn. Bergkamp. This Leb again. Now Fabregas. Barrett. With Boateng. He's got Macaroni and acres of space on the right-hand side. Never saw him, I fear.
I'll tell you what won't have helped Kleb's case, Ian, and this is what a lot of the foreign players in particular fall foul of, is when they are renowned for going to ground very, very quickly. They sometimes don't get the benefit of the doubt when it's in their favour. And Kleb already has shown me signs that he does go to ground quickly.
Well, he's come from the Bundesliga and they wrote the book on it there, didn't they? Yakubu, clapped it into from behind, stays down. Good advantage played by the referee. Johnson was looking to break in behind. This time Seagull was able to cut it out. Well, this is a scoreline that might reverberate around the whole of the Premiership tonight. Leb. Reyes with the layoff. Leb again. Can they come up with anything? Ashley Cole just forced a little wider than he might have liked, and the cross is going to be too long for Bergkamp.
Been very, very poor in the final third. As good as their play has been here today, Arsenal, you know, it really has been a damp squib. And Middlesbrough, when you look at what they've done in the final third, they haven't had too many opportunities to get overly excited about. But when they have come their way, they've got incredibly excited by the 2 goals. He doesn't look excited.
Can you believe that 6 points out of 9 before today represented the worst start in the Premiership for Arsenal for 4 years? It might become 6 points out of 12. Emmanuel Pogatetz is going to come on. And who are they going to take off here? We're not getting any indication. It might be Adam Johnson. Yeah, it is. The youngster. He'll get a big ovation. Done okay, hasn't he?
He has. He's done better in the second half. I think he's got a little bit of confidence with the way that Middlesbrough played. He looked a little bit nervous, a bit edgy in the first 45 minutes, which is understandable. But he's going to be a name to watch out for the future, believe me.
A day he'll never forget. And he's been part of a Middlesbrough side that lead Arsenal 2-0. Sure, you'll hear much, much more of Adam Johnson, and in the pretty near future, I should think, as well.
I think it's a smart move. Pogatetz is a lot more experienced. You've got to just over the hour mark. You now want to make sure that Arsenal don't get a lifeline of a goal.
Never. Ashley Cole into Reyes. Middlesbrough attacking in packs, making sure that there's just no space for Arsenal. It's going to take something very, very inventive. They're well capable of it. They have the players to do it. Leb, but they'll need something a little better possibly than that. Lauren having to really work with that. And Kedru, excellent bit of play. Pogatetz rather on this side. Now Yakubu. Pogatetz continuing with this round, the Austrian.
I do think at times though Arsenal have made it easy because they have played so narrow. It's easy to defend when sides are playing a lot more narrow than it is when they spread the play and get it into wide areas and then get in behind you. And really Arsenal haven't done enough of that.
And since that opening quarter of an hour, they've been rather firing blanks, Arsenal. Pogatetz going down there in that clash with Fabregas. course, he'll be facing England soon, won't he, Emmanuel Pogatet's part of the Austrian side in England's group. Played for them in both the recent internationals. England, of course, have to win that big one at Old Trafford. It's their next game, and substantial improvement, of course, required. Back. I'm not sure that Boateng meant that, but it worked perfectly for him because it found Ray Parlour. There's Parlour again, winner of 9 major honours during his distinguished time at Highbury. They remember him there fondly.
I just think that Parlour, Rockenbach and Boateng have made it a lot more competitive in that area of the field. You know, I talked at the very, very top, Ian, about the rhythm of Arsenal. They had that for 25 minutes, and they didn't finish off what was a lot of creativity going on in their side. But in this second period, I think Middlesbrough have been a lot more competitive, and they've certainly got the benefit because of it.
Lawrence challenge. Yellow card.
Again, I don't think Mike Riley's got any other choice, really. It's a challenge from behind, and we know the way the rules of the game are that that's going to get punished with a yellow card.
It's the 5th of the match, incidentally, that. Rockenbach. And towards Yakubu, Seagan's head away. Here's Macaroni. Great day for him with a goal. And maybe making himself a permanent starter wide on the right. Well, that's given away by Abou Xavier to Reyes. He's not got a lot of support around him, and in the end, typical of what Middlesbrough have been doing, they've been working very, very hard to get the ball back in that central area where they've got a lot of men, and they did get it back, and here they come again. Rockenbach is sent flying by Hleb this time, and is there going to be another booking here? There is.
I'll tell you why they're incensed. When you see Rockenbach trying to get himself away from Hleb, he actually does throw an arm in the direction of Hleb's throat, and that's what's incensed the Arsenal players.
Bergkamp saying exactly that.
Yeah, and I can understand why they're not happy, and Hleb then is chased down Rockenbach because he's frustrated. Fabregas now's got himself involved in it.
And Fabregas has got a yellow card as well.
That's the one. And you can understand why players get incensed about that. You really can.
Need a new pencil in a moment. That's 5 of the outfield players for Arsenal, half the team. But all in the second half, I think, as well. Here's Macaroni. Comes out with the ball on the far side, but the decision is a little... Was there a little tug on the shirt? There might have been, yeah. It's a free kick to Middlesbrough.
You know, that goal might be the making of Massimo Macaroni. Yeah, I said that I watched him a couple of years ago playing for the Italian under-21s, and he looked a terrific prospect. He really did. And he really has struggled to make an impact here. But that goal should give him a lot of confidence.
Xavier's come forward, so has Ugo Ehiogu from the back, and Gareth Southgate as well, still bouncing around dangerously in there until Gilberto gets it away, and that'll bounce through without any further alarms to Lens Yeaman. Side. And that now is the mentality of Middlesbrough. Rockenbach, who's made a pretty good debut here. He's making a difference to them, isn't he?
He's done well. A lot of quality as well when he's given the side. A lot of quality. And I just think that Arsenal need to make another change here, because I'm looking around at the players in those yellow shirts, and I don't see an awful lot of belief that they're going to get back into this game.
You'd have thought Robin van Persie might have come on sooner rather than later. And, well, right now is the answer to that. And off comes Robert Perez, who started brightly, but like Arsenal has tended to just have a decreasing influence as things have worn on. Van Persie has been featuring in the Holland side. They've been going well in the World Cup, albeit against some undemanding opposition over recent days. Arsenal badly needing the lift of a goal here, something to just give them a little bit of belief. Ashley Cole. Well, both these sides, of course, in European action in midweek. Middlesbrough will be playing Xanthi, the Greek side. Emerson will be back here with them. And Arsenal up against the newcomers to the Champions League from Switzerland, FC Thun. You'll see that game on Sky Sports on Wednesday. Pogatetz. Rockenbach. Good debut from Fabio Rockenbach. Lauren's challenge was on Pogatetz. Lauren's already been burped.
They were Barcelona together, weren't they? Rockenbach and Fabregas, yes.
Rockenbach gets a booking on his debut. He's a combative sort. We call him the Terminator for nothing, I guess. I promise that's the last time I mention that nickname.
There's three very competitive players who've got in that area of the field, Ian. When you look at Parler and Boateng, they like putting their foot in.
Change in the plot here from the opening quarter of the match. Middlesbrough not only 2-0 up, but looking pretty comfortable as well. Now, coming up on Sunday on Sky Sports, it's Crewe against Derby County from the Championship. That's tomorrow from 1 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. And then Super Sunday is Bolton Wanderers against Blackburn from 3:30, again on Sky Sports 1. Kubu. He's Rockenbach again. Off the outside of the foot. How about that to Ray Parler?
Well, he is a Brazilian.
And they've had a few around here, of course, most notably Juninho. I think, in fact, he's about the 8th Brazilian Middlesbrough have had on their books. Rockenbach. Not part of the Brazilian national setup at the moment, as he was in the build-up to the 2002 World Cup. I don't think Big Phil Scolari liked him too much. This is Ashley Cole. Reyes making a run to his outside. Leb, again, crowding up. Same old story, really, for Arsenal. They've run out of ideas at the moment.
They have. They've been very, very disappointed since Middlesbrough got that second goal. But the home side need to see this through now. 15 minutes to go. It's an important period. Could actually be the springboard for this Middlesbrough side, because you're going to get confidence by winning games. You want to be winning them against clubs like Arsenal.
And by the way, Steve McLaren has never got so much as a point against Arsenal in 8 league meetings against them. Still some work to do, though, here.
Probably thought it was going to be the same again after the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, looked like it, didn't it? For all the world. He's Rockenbach to take the corner. He's only 23 still. More good news, that for Borough. He's arrived for an undisclosed fee, the new cliche of football. That could be anything, couldn't it? I've seen it reported as $1 million, 2.5, I don't know. It's good run from Kedru across the face of the penalty area. Ray Parler. And he demanded more from his players after the insipid display against Charlton. He certainly got more, Steve McLaren here. Ashley Cole. The sort of pass that children should try tomorrow morning in their youth games, up right across the face of the penalty area. Reyes, that's good-looking vision. Van Persie couldn't get there. Middlesbrough have a thou shalt not pass attitude about this now. They're 2 goals up. They do not intend to let it slip. Fabregas. Van Persie couldn't get through because Kedru was there again. He's had a fine match from Kedru. And there's another break on Yakubu offside. He's offside. It was a perfect ball through to him. Lovely weight on it.
Well, again, Ian, you know, Sigan, I'm not sure what he's thinking about. I think he gets lucky there because I don't think he knows where Yakubu is when that ball is threaded through in behind him by Rockenbach. He does lose his concentration at times.
Lauren across to Ashley Cole. Time running out for Arsenal, and they've had a slightly dispirited look about them since that second goal went in. Recently, Arsene Wenger, after the Chelsea defeat, talked about a lack of self-belief among his players. Do they have a problem?
I think they do, yeah. I think their performance here today has been a real Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, for 25 minutes, they were absolutely outstanding. But if you don't punish sides, then you're not going to win football matches. And then when Middlesbrough have got their noses in front, maybe they were a little bit fortunate, but they've taken full advantage of that good fortune. And I'm thinking, well, look, an Arsenal fan, show me a response. You show me that you're capable of coming back when you're losing games. Now, I haven't seen that today from Arsenal. But what I have seen, I've seen a good desire from Middlesbrough. I've seen a side that really would have felt the effects of losing 3-0 at home against Charlton and being outplayed for 25 minutes. But they're really showing a great attitude to get something out of a football match.
Massimo Macaroni getting a standing ovation at the Riverside. A bit of a restatement of his credentials, including a goal today.
That's a terrific finish, Ian. You know, sometimes when you're not in that confident vein form, then, you know, they're saved by the goalkeeper or you miss the target. But he showed great composure, and he deserves his ovation he's getting.
To be replaced by yet another Brazilian, Dorival. It's just like watching Brazil, or perhaps not.
Very similar to Rio, you know, Middlesbrough.
It's a nasty fall. Their player down injured for Arsenal. Just trying to see who that is. Fabregas, yeah.
It's Fabregas. And that is a bad fall. It really is a bad fall. And as you've rightly said, Ian, you know, they were very quick to signal to the bench, and Gary Lewin is a very experienced physiotherapist. And these look worrying moments. If it's not bad enough for Arsenal to lose, or potentially lose, a very influential player, Cesc Fabregas. And, well, it was just a straight up and down challenge, wasn't it? Him and Pogatetz. It was just the way he fell. And that'll have winded him.
Yeah, I think he's okay, though. It looked bad for a moment, the way he was down, and the player seemed a little alarmed for a moment. I just wondered if he might have actually fallen on the arm and done something humble to his wrist or something, but he seems to be okay anyway, Fabregas. And here he is on the ball.
I think what has shown up, as far as Arsenal's concerned, is when Henry is out of this side, about scoring goals, about who is going to finish situations up for them. And, you know, I'm not saying that Reyes is not the man, but today I just think that they've been far too elaborate when really you want them to be a lot more clinical in the final third.
Eight successive Premiership defeats they've had. Van Persie does well. Ehio anywhere will do, including the back of the star behind that goal.
That was better, wasn't it? There was a player prepared to get to the byline. You know, that's always a worry for defenders.
But Middlesbrough have been fantastic in keeping Mark Schwarzer covered up in this second half. But here's a corner for them to defend. Middlesbrough head to it first again. It was Ray Parlour, in fact. On Monday night, fascinating fixture. West Ham, who started very promisingly after promotion, at home to Aston Villa, who have Milan Baros, of course, in their ranks. Now that's 7:30 Monday night. Sky Sports 1, our first Monday night offering from the Premiership anyway this season. Gilberto, who played when Brazil beat Chile 5-0 recently. Brazil qualified again for the World Cup on the back of that. Adriano getting a hat-trick. Parlour. You won't worry about that, Middlesbrough. Nice and high up the pitch. Time running out. 1 or 2 eyes on the clock now. Well, more than 1 or 2 eyes, I'm sure, on the Middlesbrough bench. Fabregas's long ball aimed towards Robin van Persie. Easy for Hugo Ehiog. He's been very solid in that right back role after 1 or 2 early difficulties along with his other defenders. It's too long for Jose Antonio Reyes. It looks like it's going to be a disappointing flight back down south tonight for the Arsenal boys.
I think the Dennis Bergkamp, he won't be flying.
It's a long drive back for him. Yeah. Just wonder whether Arsenal's confidence has been punctured by the fact that they had to play Chelsea twice early in the season and lost both games, Community Shield and that one at Stamford Bridge, when they lost by that kind of freakish goal scored by Didier Drogba.
Well, Arsene Wenger's in his 10th season as manager of Arsenal, and I don't think for one moment he'll panic and get overly worried about this result or this performance, because you know, he's seen signs over the games that they've played so far, and this is their 4th league game, that there's enough quality in the side to get good results. What he's got to make sure is when they do have that dominant phase in games, you know, they do put other teams to the sword. And that's really what's got them their success in his time as manager of Arsenal Football Club.
Can Arsenal stage a late rally here and make things a bit more uncomfortable for Middlesbrough? No problems at all here for Mark Schwarzer, the goalkeeper. Borough can smell their first home win. Rockenbach having a little chat with Reyes after those two clashed. Pogatic lashes into Lauren in mid-air, and that's a definite free kick. The Austrian, of course, who came here with a big suspension hanging over him from his time in Russia. It's supposed to go on for 6 months. In the end, was cut to 8 games.
What did he do to get?
It was a leg-breaking challenge. And the Russian FA took a very dim view of it, first of all. This is Ashley Cole. But all roads seem to be cul-de-sacs for Arsenal in the second half. Like a bit of a handoff, and we're going to get the free kick for that. Parlour involved.
They won't mind that really, will they? And Middlesbrough just breaks up the play.
Bergkamp towards the near post there. Little flick on there by Gilberto, but still nothing doing for Arsenal.
It's a good ball, it's a good run, but unfortunately, no disrespect to Gilberto, you know, it's him on the end of it. You really want somebody like a Reyes or a Van Persie that's in that position, that's probably got that little bit more ability to do something with that opportunity.
Touch by Lauren. Inside the last 5 minutes now. Middlesbrough, of course, did beat a very weakened Arsenal in the semi-finals of the League Cup a couple of seasons ago. But in the Premiership, they haven't beaten them anywhere since at Highbury in 2001, a 3-0 win, which featured 2 Arsenal-owned goals on that occasion. So it's been a long time coming this for Middlesbrough, if they are to turn it into 3 points. Of course, they won't be counting their chickens just yet. Yakubu will take it into the corner. Middlesbrough now have got one eye on the clock. You can't really blame them. This could be a very, very good end to a troubled week for Steve McLaren. Rockenbach's corner. Away by Bergkamp. Driven in by Dorivar. Good block. Rockenbach again, and his vision excellent. Picks up Dorivar again. He's never scored, by the way, in the Premiership. Dorivar was lining himself up for another opportunity. They'll be quite content to go backwards. Polgets. Borough will feel they're nearly there.
You've every right to think that. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of stoppage time, but you know, Arsenal certainly don't look to me, and I'm sure to you, as if they're a side capable of getting back into this game.
The zest seems to have gone out of the performance too in this second half, but give a lot of credit to the way that Middlesbrough have been organised, how hard they've worked, what energy they've shown to the cause. Lev out wide, but that rather symptomatic of how it's gone in the second half for Arsenal.
It's all a bit frustrating, isn't it? The likes of Ashley Cole and Reyes, and they'll reflect on this game and wonder, through the promptings of Dennis Bergkamp, how they didn't find themselves in front in that opening 25 minutes.
Cole, Fabregas, Touré. From long range, maybe, no, and Lev couldn't control it. Oh, that's a bit of a mistake, and Reyes low and hard, and oh, it nearly fell for Van Persie. Schwartz's save in the end was good enough.
It's a decent strike, isn't it? And they'd only have themselves to blame, Middlesbrough, if Arsenal had got themselves back into this game so late.
Here comes the corner kick. And Polgets saved it, going for a corner kick over on that far side. They're just going to wind down the clock a bit further here by making another substitution, Middlesbrough. Danny Graham, once of Chesterley Street, is going to be introduced here. Scored a couple of goals for the club already, one of their youngsters, and it's Yakubu getting a big reception, weight off his shoulders, his first Borough goal today, the first goal just when Middlesbrough needed it most as well, after Arsenal had dominated. 4 minutes of added time there'll be, maybe that will lift Arsenal to something, but it's 2 goals they need in that time. Van Persie's little back heel, Touré, but there's nobody there, and now there's a break on with Boateng. Graham's trying to hold back his run. Parler looks to pick up Graham. This time Seagon will patch it up for Arsenal, who, by the way, I'm told, have never lost in these yellow shirts for 4 years. At least not when there's been an R in the month, anyway. But, anyway, one of those little trivia facts for you.
I'm just looking at Clev's performance, Ian. You know, he's almost played as a central midfield player, not the wide left that he started the game. You know, such as he's come inside on so many occasions, and he just hasn't given them any width.
What a lovely ball by Rockenbach. It's almost been a man of the match performance from him in the centre of that midfield. He really has made a difference.
I'll tell you what's impressed me, though, Ian, is he's picked up the pace of the game very quickly. You know, it's one thing that a lot of foreign players seem to struggle with. And don't forget, he's been playing in the league But certainly the tempo of the game is a lot slower than what you would find here in our English Premier League. But I think he's done absolutely superb for Steve McLaren's team.
Really has caught the eye today anyway. He's been a key player in this win for them. It does look like a win, doesn't it? Now, Bergkamp. Just a couple of minutes of the added time left. Such a contrast with a fortnight to go here. And Arsenal are going to be in 8th place in the table. Still very early days, of course. Fabregas, goalkeepers. Arsenal's next home game is against Everton. That's a Monday night game, again on Sky Sports, that one, incidentally. And Steve McLaren standing by to celebrate his first ever Premiership win over Arsenal.
Come on!
I must have thought this day would never arrive when they would beat the Gunners. Sleb, nicely worked. Reyes, the flag stays down. Jose Antonio Reyes, can he finish it? Yes, he can. 2-1, but is it too late for Arsenal?
Well, was he offside? That's the big question mark. Certainly the Middlesbrough players felt that was the case, and this ball was threaded through to him. Well, I think that's onside. I think that Kudru may well have been playing both Arsenal players off, Van Persie and Reyes. And we talked about the composure shown by Macaroni when he scored, and you can certainly say the same for Jose Antonio Reyes.
First time he scored away from home for a year, Jose Antonio Reyes. And now, do we have a very, very nervy last few seconds here for Middlesbrough? They're nearly there. Remember, it was 4 minutes of added time we're supposed to be playing, a minimum of that, and we're nearly up to that. They can keep the ball in the corner, can they here? Throw in. That'll suit Middlesbrough just fine. Arsenal need to get it up to the other end. Let's have the whistle, please, they're saying. The Middlesbrough bench. Arsenal have to launch it forward and quickly. That won't help because the ball was played behind Seagon. The Middlesbrough fans are beseeching the referee to blow for time, but they might have one last attack to survive. Bit of late drama here, and they could have done without the ball being given away there. It's Toure. Now Lauren. Oh, and it's not properly away, and there was a chance there for Ashley Cole to grab what would have been the most improbable of points for Arsenal.
Well, all the passing that they've done here tonight, Ian, it really was just a long, old-fashioned ball up forward that very nearly reaped some benefits.
Of course, last season, Middlesbrough themselves were 2-0 down at Southampton in the last minute and got a point, do you remember?
I remember. Stuart Downing.
Yeah. But we're well over the 4 minutes, and still Mike Riley does not blow. He takes another look at his watch. Now he does! And after 8 successive Premiership defeats against Arsenal, Middlesbrough win. It's a bad reverse, that, for Arsene Wenger's side, who've lost 2 of their first 4 games. That hasn't happened since 1994, I'm told. Celebrations for Middlesbrough and their supporters. Yakubu with the first, Massimo Macaroni with the second, and Jose Antonio Reyes' late goal for Arsenal was too late. Middlesbrough 2, Arsenal 1 is the shock scoreline at the Riverside.
Well, that was an exciting finish, to say the least. Middlesbrough almost blowing their hard work of 92 minutes. But they have finally, under Steve McLaren, beaten Arsenal in the Premiership. Played 8, lost 8 was McLaren's record prior to today in the league. But they've won, they've scored some goals at home, and suddenly life is looking that much rosier on Teesside. Now, coming up this evening. Football first with Claire Tomlinson, including the game of the day. It's Newcastle against Fulham, which of course took place not so very far from here. Michael Owen making his debut for the home side. Match choice as well. It's all from 8:25 on Sky Sports 1. And on Sky Sports 3, 7 o'clock, Real Madrid against Celta Vigo in La Liga. Crew against Derby tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. Super Sundays at the Reebok for Bolton and Blackburn, 3:30 on the same channel, and also on Sky Sports 1 at 6 o'clock from Spain. Again, it's Barcelona against Real Mallorca. Much to discuss here. We'll have George's